Hello, we're at the third annual Lincoln County High School Falcon Football Media Night, and I've got with me here Prescott Smith, the president of the Falcon Club. And Prescott, just tell us, if you want to, what the purpose of the Falcon Club is.
Well, the Falcon Club benefits the team and the players specifically, and all the money generated goes to them and their support. From, like, recently we just got through redoing the field house, bought all new weight equipment for them, renovated the inside, painted some new mats. And that's a pretty big expense, but that's just one thing. It also pays for them to go on their trips they go on, 7-on-7 tournaments, scrimmages, just anything they might need. It's expensive to outfit a player and to get them on the road.
Well, I'm sure it is, and I was going to talk about y'all did a lot of work on the field house and got new weights, a lot of new equipment and everything, and that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big plus. I mean, we're trying to get up to speed, and technology's changed since some of this equipment was put in, so we're up to date and looking good.
Like we've talked about it a lot back in '82 when we were so good, or back actually when the school was opened up in the late '70s, we were state of the art. Now everybody else has done caught us and passed us, and now we've got to spend a little bit of money and get like everybody else is.
Oh, that's correct. We're just trying to get back up to speed, and I believe we're there now.
Okay, I know the media guide is supposed to be out, should be out by the first game of the year, for the Giles County game, August 23rd, and it should be ready and have all the stats and everything in it.
Oh yeah, it'll be ready the first home game. It gives you all the history of the school, the coaches, player summaries. There's a lot of ads in there for community sponsorship, and all that money directly supports the club and the players too.
Well, that's real good. Okay, just tell us, if you could, just what are the benefits of being a member? Who we need to get in contact to join the Falcon Club, how much, and all that?
You can contact any of the club members, myself, Justin Harwell, John Richardson, Kevin Winsett, any of us. We meet the first Monday night of every month here at the school. Everyone's welcome to come out and join us. Their input, this is not a one-person show or anything. By all means, everybody come out and join us. But the benefits you get, we have tailgate before every home ball game. Shoney's and Dan Holt's very nice to sponsor that and provide the food. It's a good time just to have fun and fellowship with each other, and that's just one of the benefits. Also, you get parking back here, reserved parking, or just access to park in the rear to get you in and out a little faster and to your seat. Also have reserved seating that you can get. I think this year 6 home ball games, tickets $36. Get you a year's reserve seating. So, and prices start, anywhere from $50 on up. So don't feel like you be left out or it's a very expensive ordeal.
Well, I know we really appreciate what Shoney's does. Shoney's really helps us out. And I know Jack and Matthew and I always take advantage of the pregame meal down there. We go down there and eat, but they really do a good job, and we appreciate everything they do.
Sure thing. Dan is a very good supporter of the club and the football and all programs here. Him and Shoney's have just worked tirelessly for us and helped us a whole lot.
Okay, Prescott, well, I know you're busy. You got a lot of stuff going on, cooking hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff like that, so we'll let you get back, and we appreciate it.
No problem.
And go Falcons.
Go Falcons.
Back here at Media Night with Coach Don Thomas. Coach, we had a good turnout tonight. We had some good food. Hopefully none of them's got too fat, but you got to be pleased with the way things have went tonight.
Oh yeah, we've had a good summer. This is a good opening to our fall football camp, and the players are very excited, and the parents here dropping them off, getting them ready, kissing them, hugging them, telling them their last goodbyes for the week and everything. So it's a good send off, and it's a good get together for all the parents and everybody to just come together as a community and a Falcon family.
Well, you're right, and I understand you're going to have them in the gymnasium, I think, all week and keep them all night long and all that, and that's good, kind of let them bond.
Oh, it's no doubt about it. We, for years and years, we had a great camp at Baylor, and then Lincoln County was able to go to Youth Incorporated in Smyrna for a while. But with the start of school, we haven't been able to do it the last couple of years, and school being moved back a week, the starting date this year gave us an opportunity to do it, and financially, as well as making it easier on the parents to see everything we do, we decided to stay here, and I think it'll be great. We got scrimmages coming up Thursday and Friday. They are in the morning. Thursday on the 1st, Friday on the 2nd. They are both at 9 a.m. here on campus at Lincoln County. But the reason we did that is because in years past, been such an issue with heat that we couldn't schedule it in the afternoon and maybe sitting there for a couple hours. Now, pretty much we're guaranteed 2.5 hours if we go at 9 in the morning. So that's what the other schools had to do because they start school the next day, I believe, after we scrimmage Ravenwood starts.
So we've got Ravenwood Thursday morning, and then we've got Riverdale Friday morning.
Yes, sir. Back to back. Two good teams, one out of Williamson County, one out of Rutherford County. We went for good competition, and we've had great competition this summer throughout our passing leagues and everything. Had a good week of that this week. We went 10-3 in the passing league, so we feel pretty good about that.
And like you say, I mean, we started here in about 3 weeks, and new season, new classification. We're playing a lot of different schools this year. I know I think you've got a couple of new coaches. So looking forward to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, Coach Nathan King came up from NGA, and Joe Moose came over. He was the head coach at Forest last year, and he came over with us. So Joe and I worked together for 4 or 5 years in the past, and both those guys are great assets to our team. We had some other situations where we had 3 coaches that are not with us anymore, and they all had good reasons, great things. Coach Sisk is back at Coffee County, and we'll miss him. Coach Browning's at Unity, had a baby, going to spend a lot of time with her, and Coach Kelly became a supervisor, and Coach Kelly became a supervisor in the Athens City School System, which it was a great opportunity for him. So all 3 of those guys will be missed. And the guys that we brought on board are welcomed and ready to go, and the players are doing a great job and have adjusted to all those changes in a wonderful way.
We lost a lot of good kids last year, graduated, moved on in life, but we've got some very good ones coming back. You had a very good sophomore class coming in this year too.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Our senior class has done a great job, and a great job being leaders throughout the summer, and a lot of those guys played last year with great time. And then that young group coming in, that sophomore group, is very talented. They're young and inexperienced, but the talent level is good. And then with the experience of the seniors, and then the juniors are stepping up. So, we're really proud of our group, and, hope everything, stays the way it is, and we keep working.
And we've got a couple of 2 or 3 new teams this year on the schedule, too, that we haven't maybe seen in a long time. I know we used to play Lebanon, but we picked them back up again. I think Pope John Paul.
Pope John Paul was a situation where it was just easy for us, and we had another team lined up. We were going to play Summit right there, and Summit backed out on us. Pope John Paul had already called and asked for a game, so it was very easy to plug it in. And normally, to be honest with you, I prefer not to play private schools. They choose to give scholarships. I choose for them to play each other, but. Jerry Joslin's a good guy, and he'd already called, and we've been very good friends for a long time, so we decided to play that game. Picked up Franklin over in Williamson County. Donnie and I played college ball together. That's how we picked that one up. Lebanon was a good pickup, and I think it's somewhere close to, I think that one's on Coach T's reunion weekend, and then, so we rounded out and then opened up with Giles County.
And it'll be here before you know it, too, August 23rd. Okay, Coach, I know you got other things to do. Appreciate you taking time to talk to us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, folks, we're sitting down today to talk with the color man of WYTM Radio Falcon Football, Donnie Honey. And we got the statistician, Matthew Posey. Does a great job keeping stats and putting numbers together for Falcons. Matt, you're down at the high school. Rubbing elbows. I know you've only been to school a couple of days so far this week, but kind of what's the vibe coming out around Lincoln County High School about the football program this year?
They're just excited to get it started off August 23rd. They just really can't wait to get after it.
Okay. Got Giles County on the season opener. Donnie, if you would, we'll go just kind of through the players here, and we'll be throwing a photograph up on the screen as we go down through the roster.
Okay, starting off, number 1, tailback Ryan Golden. He's a senior, 6'3", 208 pounds. Worked real hard in the weight room in the off season, and it shows. He's looked so real good in scrimmage this year.
He's about probably 20 pounds heavier than he was this time last year. And from what I've seen of him in the early scrimmages, he's looked pretty good running at tailback.
Yeah, he runs hard. He runs with his head down and just nothing, no nonsense running, just straight at you.
Yeah. He's like I say, they seem like they found a good spot for him to use his athleticism and everything that he's got running at tailback this year. So.
And he's done a good job the past couple of years. He's been the holder for extra points, and that's hard to do. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how hard that is. You're down on one knee and you got people coming at you full speed, and you got to concentrate and catch that ball and get it down on the tee. He did a real good job of that, so hopefully he'll do a good job at running back this year for us.
All right, go ahead.
Number 2, Quamaine Humphrey, senior, 5'9", 150-pound cornerback.
He's a second-year starter and got a lot of experience. He's going to bring a lot of experience to this team, and really a good senior leader in the locker room.
I know he did a good job. One of the steals I got last night with the scrimmage in Marshall County, they had a deep pass and it was on the money, but he did a good job breaking it up. He sure did. So, go ahead.
Okay. Next, we got number 3, Tommy Sanders, senior, 5'10", 175-pound defensive back, and he's done a good job too. Stepped in this spring and then this fall in scrimmage and looked real good.
Yeah, he was a backup quarterback.
He's still a backup quarterback too, I believe. Yeah, but he's going to probably see a lot more time playing defense.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Next, we got number 4, which is Shelton Smith. Shelton's a sophomore, 6 foot, 175-pound wide receiver. Of course, he's in this what I call super sophomore class we've got coming in this year that are a lot of talent in that, and he's seen already a lot of playing time this spring and fall.
Matt, what's your take on the sophomore bunch that's coming in?
They've got a lot of potential from top to bottom, and I'm really excited to see what they can do this year and also in the years to come.
I know Coach Don Thomas has made the statement a few times that there'll be 6, 7, 8 of them will be substantial contributors to the team this year, and that's kind of an unusual situation or circumstance for Lincoln County to be in. A lot of times it's that junior, senior year before we get
but it's a good circumstance to be in.
Oh, it's what you're hoping for. You're looking at reloading instead of rebuilding. That's what it boils down to. All right, go ahead.
All right, the next on the list is number 5, Ryan Hall, another one of those sophomores, 6'1", 175-pound. I've got him listed strong safety wide receiver. I think he's played a little bit of defensive end, but the way it looks, he's going to be starting on defense, and he's a hitter. He's not probably as big as he would like to be, but going to be a good ball player.
He's just a real athletic kid.
He's a good fit in the defense we're running this year, 4-2-5. He's a good fit at strong safety.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, next we got Brandon Gower, senior, 6'1", 175-pound wide receiver. Brandon was with us as a sophomore, but last year he was off. He didn't play, but he's come back this year, and he's done a good job so far.
Yeah, I know they were glad to have him coming back to the team because he does play some defense, but he's a real good target and got a good set of hands.
He's got good speed, good athleticism.
Catching the ball. So, go ahead.
All right. Next, we got number 7, Keller Monks, 5'10", 170-pound junior. Keller right now is our starting quarterback, one of our quarterbacks, and he's done a good job so far this spring too.
Now, Keller got a little experience last year when Beddingfield, was it 3 games he started?
3 games.
I think Beddingfield went down with a real issue and a lung problem, had a collapsed lung, and Keller kind of got thrown under the bus to some degree, getting in that starting position, but hopefully it'll help make him a better quarterback this year.
Well,
I'm sure that's what they're looking for.
That will definitely help him because the experience, a little bit of experience he got last year is going to help him because just the playing, and like you said, I'm sure when he first got through out there, his eyes were probably this big, but just being around, what little bit I've been around him and seen him, he seems very cool, very laid back, and doesn't get excited, which is what you want in a quarterback.
Yeah, it seemed like he's one of those kids too that wants the ball. Like, give him the ball and give him the opportunity. So, okay. All
right, next we got number 8, Josh Whitaker, senior, 5'10", 165-pound wide receiver. He'll play some wide receiver. He'll probably start on defense at free safety.
Mm-hmm.
He'll catch a lot of passes.
Yeah.
A lot of passes.
I feel like offensively he can be one of the big playmakers we've got because if you get the ball in his hands in open field, he's got enough speed to do some damage. He can get on the backside of the defenders, and if we can get the football to him, that'll be the thing.
Maybe running back punts too, I believe. I've seen him some in practice running back punts, so he'll be exciting when he gets his hands on the ball.
Okay.
Next we got on the list here is number 9, August Hill, another sophomore. Tremendous potential, good speed. He's got real good moves. He's got good quickness. 5'10", 185-pound running back, and he'll play a little bit of strong safety, but he'll probably more concentrate on running back.
Just seeing them in the scrimmages and things so far, he's one of our threats too on offense. If he can get outside wide, he's got the speed, and he's actually got a good cut move too. It's kind of an instinct that you can't coach. Kids just about got to have it, and if we can keep him healthy and his wheel rolling as a sophomore, he'll be a big contributor.
He's one of those guys that he's not afraid to put his helmet down and run straight over you.
He'll do that. He's made me break nervous a time or two, lowering that head into a defensive back when he gets in that secondary. So
he's tough. Had a real good year last year at NGA with all the rest of these sophomores here, and I'm expecting big things out of him, especially by the time he's a senior. He should really be outstanding.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, next on the list, we got number 10, James Townsend, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore. He's going to be a quarterback, one of our backup quarterbacks right now. And I think we've seen him a little bit in some of the 7-on-7 drills, and he looked pretty good.
He did. I remember specifically he dropped a pass over on the outside and just against Giles County, I guess it was, in a 7-on-7, and he laid it on the money. So, of course, if the quarterback situation, any one of these guys that are in a backup role could find herself on the field, no doubt.
I think we've probably got more quarterbacks this year on the roster than I can remember in years. If you can look down the list, and there's several kids on here that's got quarterback outside their name.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the next one here is number 11, Eli Eason, quarterback, 5'11", 160 pounds. He was a quarterback last year over at NGA for the outstanding year that they had last year. Eli, of course, we lost him a couple of weeks ago he hurt his knee and probably going to be out the whole season. But Eli is going to be he definitely will be a talent by the time he leaves here.
Yeah, I think Coach Don was really looking at using a two quarterback system between Keller and Eli, and during the Ravenwood scrimmage, Eli tore a growth plate in his knee and had to have some pretty major surgery. Dr. Johns up in Murfreesboro did the work, and they expect him back. They expect him to be back 100%. It's just one of those injuries. It's going to take some time, and he's an athletic kid, probably be a starter on the basketball team. I know Coach Tips will be hoping that he'll be back in time for some basketball, but from what I understand, football, he's going to have to set this one out.
And that's the type of injury there, too. You don't want to rush back. You want to make sure it's healed before you really start trying to use it again.
And
flare up again.
Being a sophomore, I mean, he's got so much potential down the road. You're better off to go ahead and take care of what needs to be taken care of now, so you've got him back 100% later on. All right.
Next on the list, number 12, Cooper Shelton, 5'10", 160-pound quarterback, and also a cornerback here. This is Cooper's first year with us, and he's looked good in the preseason scrimmages and the 7-on-7 drills.
Yeah, Cooper transferred over from the city system. He was, I think, a kicker over there, but ended up coming into the Lincoln County High School program. All right, go ahead.
All right, next on the list, number 14, Jacob Lamb, 5'11", 165-pound senior. And Jacob will be playing, I think, primarily on defense, like at a weak safety.
Strong safety, and another one of those senior leaders in the locker room. You can never have enough of those.
Okay.
All right, next we got Tyler Bennett, number 15. He's a senior, 5'11", 220-pound linebacker. Excellent size, good speed, good quickness. He's got pretty much everything you're looking for there in a linebacker. Hard hitter, good ball player.
I know he's one of them, along with his anchor mate, Jack Cooter.
That we'll get into in a minute here. Yeah.
Anyway, they're, as far as a duo of linebackers, I think they're picked to be the best in our district, and maybe even end up getting some state recognition out of it before the end of the season. So we're glad to have those two back. They'll be the anchors on defense. Okay.
Next on the list, number 16, Jacob Campbell, senior, 5'9", 150-pound wide receiver. Jacob is not real big, but he's got good quickness and got pretty good hands, catch the ball. He's made several catches in the 7-on-7 drills that we did.
Yep, he stood out there having good hands. Okay, go ahead.
All right, next on the list, Hunter Adams, number 17, 5'10", 165-pound wide receiver. We've got him listed. I think he was going to play some defense too, but we lost him a couple of weeks ago or last week, I think, to a knee injury.
Tore ACL against Ravenwood. I think he had surgery on Friday, a week or two ago. So
and that's terrible for a senior.
I hate to see a
your
senior
last
go down.
around. That's terrible.
Have an injury like that, but
It's terrible for anybody, but
sure,
especially a senior,
particularly the senior year. Okay.
All right, next on the list, number 18, Logan Wheat. Logan is a sophomore, 5'10", 145-pound wide receiver, cornerback, but he's probably going to do most of the kicking for us.
Yeah.
And he's a sophomore.
He kicked last year at NGA and really was an outstanding kicker in that particular role. And I know when I'd be down at school this summer, he'd be down there working, kicking, and he went to several camps, that type thing. And he's one of those kids that's real committed to improving and being a good kicker for his football team. So we're excited about him and the fact that we've got him for a few years being a sophomore.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, next on the list we got number 20, Austin Bennett. He is the younger brother of Tyler Bennett. He's 5'6", 140 pounds. He's going to play sophomore. He's going to play cornerback on defense.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right, next we got Cole Crabtree. We saw Cole run the ball. He's a junior, number 21. Run the ball quite a bit last night in the scrimmage at Marshall County. I think he probably got more touches than he thought he was going to get when he went up there, but he ran the ball several times and did a good job. He's not real big, but he's pretty quick and got good speed, and 5'7", 140-pound running back.
Okay.
Then we got Jordan Grogan, 5'10", 175-pound sophomore, number 23. I think there was another number 23 Grogan we had back several years ago. That would be his daddy, David, and he's a wide receiver, defensive back, and looking for big things out of him.
He's one of the sophomore bunch coming in from Ninth Grade Academy as well. So,
as is our next man here, number 24, Dylan Anderson, sophomore, 5'11", 175 pounds. Free safety, defensive end. He's going to play, I think, primarily on defense, but there again, he's in that sophomore class and expecting a lot of things out of him.
He'll probably be one of those that Coach Don was talking about that'll be a contributor substantially during the course of the season from what we've seen in the preseason work with him. So, all right.
Okay, next we got number 25, Dre Dollar, senior, 5'9", 185-pound fullback linebacker. And we saw him play quite a bit too. Comes in at fullback, does a good job blocking, clearing out the hole for the running backs, and hopefully he'll have a good year too.
Yeah, we've kind of got. We don't have a lot of experience in the backfield. In fact, offensively, we only had 3 people coming back that played very much last year. But what we've got back there now, we've got a lot of depth. You got Dollar in that situation. You got Tanner Gardner coming back.
Gatlin's in there.
Gatlin's in there. Quick is in there, and of course even Cooter. In the heavy situation will be
Cooter's everywhere. Yeah, wherever you need him, that's where he's going to play.
That's a fact. So, but we've got quite a bit of depth in that aspect of it, and that can be a good thing. Keep some fresh legs. If we've got a pound it, grind it out type team, which way it kind of appears we've got.
So far, what we've seen, it looks like we should be able to just pound the ball on people and just control the ball.
Third and fourth quarter, hopefully it'll kind of take the toll on it just a little bit. Okay.
Speaking of Nick Gatlin a while ago, now he's next, number 27, senior, 5'10", 180-pound running back, defensive end.
Okay.
This is the first time he's played since 8th grade, but I know he's
a good-looking kid. I mean, size-wise and all, he's got good size.
He's got a lot of talent at fullback.
Next, we got number 28, Tanner Gardner. Tanner's also a running back. He's a junior, 5'8", 175-pound running back, linebacker. We lost him last year with a knee injury.
ACL.
He's set out the whole year, and so he's come back this year. And as far as I know, full speed. I reckon he's ready to go.
Seems to be. Okay.
Okay, then we got number 29, Zane Cashin, sophomore, 5'10", 175-pound linebacker.
Okay.
Then we got Coleman Smith, number 30, 5'10", 170-pound defensive end. After him, we've got Cole Posey, number 31, sophomore, 5'9", 145-pound wide receiver. We've got all kinds of wide receivers, so that's good for depth.
Yep, sure is.
Then we've got Dylan Sullivan, number 32. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 145-pound wide receiver. Another one there giving you good depth at wide receiver. Then we've got Blake Olinger, number 33, sophomore, 5'9", 150-pound running back. And I remember seeing him last year, I believe at Flintville, played at Flintville, and he run the ball very well.
Well, now he's a sophomore this year, so he came from NGA.
NGA, I'm sorry, 2 years
year.
ago. Well, I think he's got a little brother. That may be who I'm thinking about is his little brother.
Okay, that played over
there. Yeah, that played at NGA at Flintville last year.
You know, we've really got a pile of sophomores that came up to play ball at this next level.
We do, and got a pile there at NGA this year to hopefully to be there next year.
We did team pictures the other day with at NGA's Falcons, and they got 38 ball players, and they got some big kids. I believe they're as big this year as they were.
Yeah, we were looking at the pictures on the roster a while ago,
year.
and they've got some huge linemen, some big linemen.
Okay.
All right, next on our list, Kirk Logan, number 34, 6'1", 230-pound junior, defensive lineman, tight end. We've seen Kirk's played quite a bit on the long defensive line. I seen him last night at the scrimmage. He got quite a bit of snaps.
Okay.
Then we got Ethan Warren, number 35, senior, 5'10", 180-pound defensive end, running back. He just kind of a little bit of everything there. Ethan's played, I think, since he's a sophomore, and played quite a bit even when he was a sophomore. Good all-around football player.
Pretty strong kid.
Oh yeah.
He's pretty stocky, pretty heavy kid. All right.
Okay, then we got number 36, Jack Cooter, senior, 6', 195-pound linebacker, running back, runs back kickoffs. I think he plays on the punt. I don't know if he ever comes off the field or not, but he's 110% all the time, wide open, as hard as he can go, and you better not get in his way, or you're going to pay.
What's your take on Cooter, Matt?
He's something else off the field, but on the field, he's not afraid to hit anybody. I don't care who they are. I don't care how big they are.
Somebody's going to pay.
Or if the whistle's blowed or not, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, you said 110% wide open, and that's completely correct.
Yeah, he's a good one. If you had a whole team of Jack Cooters, might be in trouble a little bit.
Real late in December.
Exactly.
All right.
A good one. All right. Next, we got number 37, Will McGee, junior, 5'7", 130-pound cornerback. And there again, Will's going to give us a little bit of depth there at cornerback.
Okay.
After that, we got number 40, Daniel Arnold, junior, 5'8", 145-pound running back. We've seen him get in quite a bit of action last night running the ball, and he ran the ball. He's not real big, but he runs the ball very hard.
Yeah.
Next, we got Blayton Poole, number 43. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 150-pound wide receiver. And there again, just more depth to our wide receiver class, and he's another one of those sophomores, and I'm sure he'll be another good ball player.
Okay. Next,
we got Wheeler McCullough, and Wheeler has played several different positions. We've got him listed here as number 44. Don't think that'll be his number when the season starts because we have moved him, or we haven't, but Coach Thomas and them have moved him to guard because we had a need there for a guard, and Wheeler, good-sized kid, 5'11", 225. And like I say, he may play some defensive end, but right now he's going to be starting at guard, and he'll probably change his number to another number, I would say.
Now, Wheeler's coming back from a couple of knee surgeries, too. And I think everything was able to be done with a scope, which always helps with that, the trauma from the surgery and the rehab and that type thing. But he's coming off a couple of knee surgeries, but it seems like moving inside to that guard position on offense fits him pretty well.
Like I say, he's built real good to play that position, and he's a stocky, good football player, tough.
Okay.
Next we got on the list is number 45, Luke Fullerton. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 160-pound linebacker. We've seen him play a little bit in the
Riverdale scrimmage.
In the Riverdale scrimmage, and he's, of course, obviously he'd like to be a little bit bigger, and he will. He'll get a little bit bigger, a little bit more weight, a little faster, but he's like a tough kid.
He'll be a good ball player.
Okay.
All right, next on the list, we got number 46, Michael Taylor. He's a junior, 5'10", 200-pound defensive end running back. We've seen him a little bit in the 7-on-7s, and he looks like he's going to come along and be pretty good.
All right.
Then we got number 48, Nick Barnes, sophomore, 6'1", 220-pound tight end, defensive end. I think Nick is actually going to be penciled in to play tight end. He's got a little ankle issue, I believe, right now. Nothing serious, but they've set him out. I know he didn't play last night in the Marshall County scrimmage. He was standing on the sideline.
He's coming back off from an ACL tear, had surgery. I know he got turned loose about the time they started practice and getting things together, but seen him out there working a whole lot, catching the ball at the tight end position. He'd played guard usually in the past, and I'd always just expected to see him with a number on in the 60s somewhere. But moving him to tight end seemed like a real good fit for him. He's athletic, got a good set of hands on him.
A little more beef on the line for
he's
blocking
strong.
purposes too.
I know he caught a pass in that Ravenwood scrimmage, and they took a whole bunch of Raptors to bring him down. He was hauling a load. So.
And there again, he's from, he's called a good family, whatever, football family. His daddy, Tommy Barnes, was probably one of the best high school football players that ever came through Lincoln County. Right. Outstanding, went on and played college ball along with some of these other kids that we've talked about.
And I know we're harping a lot on this sophomore class. Of course, he is a member of that, but there's 26 sophomores that have made the change from coming from Ninth Grade Academy to Lincoln County. And when you look at a good number of them being contributors, they're a class that's going to impact Falcon football for several years to come.
And the thing about it, we've talked about these kids. Some of these kids are going to be good enough to start right now as sophomores, and they're playing against kids 2 years older than they are. And when you're that age, 2 years makes a big difference.
Sure.
If they can compete and step in there right now and play with those kids, you can imagine how good they're going to be when they're seniors.
Right. All righty.
Next on the list, we got another sophomore, Caleb Bates, number 52, 5'6", 165-pound defensive lineman.
Okay.
All right, then we got number 54 next, Clay Marsh, 5'10", 220-pound senior. He's more than likely he's going to be our starting center. He's played center in the spring and the fall. He's done a very good job.
Okay.
Then we got number 56, Ryan Quick, a sophomore, 5'10", 185-pound offensive lineman. They're getting depth.
They are, but they're using him some at fullback position too.
He's a utility guy.
Yeah, and I mean he's a big, strong, squatty guy, and he should be able to plow the road when he's doing some fullback work as well. So.
Well, he's built like a fullback. So that's good.
Yeah, sure is. Okay, go ahead.
All right, next on the list, we got number 57, Jacob Crabtree, junior, 6 foot, 255-pound offensive lineman.
Okay.
Next, we got number 60, Kip Ashley, a 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore defensive lineman.
Okay.
Then we got number 61, Kagan Buntley, sophomore, 5'11", 210-pound offensive lineman. Great depth there on the offensive and defensive lines.
Okay.
All right, then we can move on to number 63, Tanner Abels, 6 foot, 265-pound offensive lineman. Good size, and I believe he's going to be one of our starters on the offensive line too.
He's one of those guys that can play anywhere on the offensive line. He's played at center. He's played some at guard. They're starting him at tackle this year, and he's going to be a real good contributor up front.
Good. We need it. Okay.
He's just a junior too, so that's good.
Right. He'll be back.
All right. Next, we got number 64, Robert Swart, senior, 5'11", 250-pound defensive lineman. I believe one of the strongest players on the team. And he's played on both sides of the ball too, I think some, but he's primarily going to be a defensive lineman.
Okay.
Then we got big number 66, Ben Rambo, senior, 6'3", 285-pound offensive lineman. Ben's going to be one of our starting offensive linemen. I know he's getting some looks from some of the colleges.
Now Ben, if I remember right, was center last year, but they've moved him to guard this year.
Right.
So I figure he'll have more opportunity to be productive for the team playing that guard position, blocking for him up, opening up those holes. So now I think he got a sprained ACL or pulled an ACL, but it was not a tear from what I understand. MRI results are. So he's got to just take it easy here until he gets some flexibility and able to bend back in that knee. And we definitely need him 100% when he gets back out there on the field. So, okay.
All right, next on the list here, we got number 72, Xavier Schulter, Another sophomore from that NGA class, 6'2", 300-pound defensive lineman.
He's every bit of it too.
And he is huge. I stood beside him last night at the scrimmage on the sideline, and I'm right at 6 foot tall, and he's twice as big as I am.
You feel small.
Yeah, I felt, actually it's a good feeling. I felt small, but he is a huge, going to have a big future.
He's going to be a contributor this year.
He's got a little injury right now, I think a little pull muscle in his arm, chest area, but he said he would be fine, be back in probably by next week.
Okay.
Next we got Logan Jean, number 74, sophomore, 5'10", 230-pound offensive lineman.
Okay.
Then we got number 75, Bobby Joe Mendoza, sophomore, 6'3", 290-pound offensive lineman. I believe he's going to be right now, got him penciled in as starting tackle.
Starting left
Yeah.
tackle.
As a sophomore, he'll be one of those that they're really a contributor to the team. I hear his Coach Moose coaching him quite a bit.
He coached him a lot last night, I think, during the
a whole lot of coaching going
right.
on.
But it's tremendous potential there. I mean, he's got just a sophomore already 6'3", 290. I mean, that's excellent size for a senior, let alone a sophomore.
Right.
Okay. All right. Next, we got number 79, Wesley Thomas. He's a junior, 6'3", 275-pound offensive lineman. Great size there.
Okay.
Then we got Jarrett Johnson, number 82, senior, 5'9", 150-pound cornerback. We saw him he played last year quite a bit, and he's going to be one of the starting corners, I believe, this year. And we've seen him make a lot of plays last year, and he's made not scared, stick his head in there, and he played good last night in the scrimmage.
He plays with a lot of heart.
He'll put a lick on you. I know in that Ravenwood scrimmage, they were threatening, had gotten down about our goal line, and he picked off a pass and scampered back for about 50 yards before it slipped. So seemed like he's got a good nose, good instinct for the ball, and on that defensive, that outside, that's what you're looking for. So, okay.
All right, next we got number 83, Travis Webster. He's a junior, 6'1", 145-pound wide receiver.
Okay.
Then we got number 84, Chase Bowden, sophomore, another sophomore from NGA. He contributed quite a bit last year over to NGA. He's a 5'10", 170-pound defensive back, number 84, and he's a defensive back, but he's probably also a wide receiver too. I guess that's where he got the number from.
Okay.
Then we got number 87, Daniel Pearson, sophomore, 5'9", 150-pound wide receiver. Just gives us more depth there at the wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Then we got number 89, River Holly, junior, 6'3", 185-pound tight end. Seen him last night. He played quite a bit in the scrimmage last night too. He's got good size, 6'3". That's good height for a tight end. Of course, he probably put on some more weight too, and he's just a junior.
Okay.
Next, we've got number 90, T.J. Crabtree. He's a junior, 6'1", 255-pound defensive end tight end. He played primarily on the defensive line, and he is a monster.
Now, he's actually slimmed up some, though. It seemed like his body weight is down. I feel like his speed is probably actually better. For you guys that remember back in the early 2000 team, he kind of is when you look at him with a helmet on out there, you think of Theo Horrocks. So hopefully that will end up producing in the same way, shape, form, and fashion. Because of course Theo was an outstanding player at Lincoln County, and
I believe last year he was like 280. They had him listed at 280.
Yeah.
And but I mean that's good if you can lose weight but put muscle on, and then you can tell he's really muscled up.
Yeah.
And the best thing about him is he's just a junior. So he'll be back next year and be even bigger, stronger, and faster too.
Sure.
All right, last but certainly not least here, we've got Logan Ashley, number 92, senior, 5'10", 165-pound tight end. He played quite a bit last night, played tight end, and he'll get in there and mix it up with them.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll touch bases here on our coaches for just a minute. Of course, Lincoln County's led again for the third year by Coach Don Thomas. Coach Don was an alumni from Lincoln County High School, went to MTSU and played. He was an All-American up there. Came back as an assistant, left, and he's run his own program a few places, and then
took a job at Lee, was head coach at Lee.
Head coach at Lee. Then when Lewis Thompson retired, stepped down as head coach. Don got the job of coming in and carrying on the tradition of Falcon football. And like I say, he's starting his 3rd year of it. And it seems like the whole team and the coaching staff is really focused this year on putting things together. You know, it was the first time in a couple, 3 years that we had any type of a fall camp. And they brought them in for 6 days, kept them at the high school, and ran from daylight to dark. We came out of it maybe a little beat up more than what we would like to have, but at the same time, it seems like there's a camaraderie and a physical toughness that comes together and binds as a team. So
well, that does that to you when they've got you down there, and you know you can't leave.
When they take
you
your
can't
keys.
go anywhere. Yeah, take your keys, and you can't go anywhere, and you have to nothing but football for a week, and it's got to help.
Yeah, it does. It helps the focus on it. I mean, Coach Thomas said they weighed them daily. Of course, they tried to keep the calories up, keep them well hydrated. I think the greatest weight loss was about 15 pounds, something like that. But as much as they ran and practicing 3 times a day, and then 2 hard scrimmages against Ravenwood and Riverdale, I mean, you're going to sweat it out of you. There's no way of getting around it. So
right, and the Riverdale scrimmage, I mean, we saw that was, I think it wound up 5-2 or 5-3, but it was 2-2 when it was ones on ones.
Right.
There for a long time, and then we substituted.
Hour and 15 minutes into that scrimmage, it was tied at 2-2, and our guys couldn't have had the legs left at the tail end of camp going into that type of situation. So I was, I felt good about the way we battled. It was a hard nose, just going to run over you type scrimmage game, and they went at it hard for a couple hours, and I think everybody there was pretty much pleased with what they saw. Go ahead and go through the assistants, Don, if you don't mind.
Troy Smith, of course, Troy's been with us for years and years. He's been an assistant coach. He's also the girls' head softball coach.
Okay.
Coach Joe Moose comes to us he was a head coach last year at Forest.
Okay.
And he has coached with Don before. I think he coached with Don when Don was at Laverne. Coach Moose is a very good coach. He's very vocal, which is good. Get the kids' attention. Coach Moose was a very good football player at Riverdale. Played at Riverdale, and I think he went on and played at MTSU, I believe. He's definitely been a good addition to the coaching staff.
Now he's the offensive coordinator.
He's also offensive coordinator, calling the plays.
He's running the show on offense this year.
So he's in our quarterback's hip pocket. Everywhere our quarterback goes, he's right there with him, in his ear.
To back up just a little bit, Coach Don Thomas he's handling defense. He's head coach and also the defensive coordinator this year. Of course, that's his area of expertise, being a linebacker there was for so many years. So, okay, go ahead.
I think we got Shannon Hastings. I believe Shannon is the running backs coach. Shannon, of course, he played at Lincoln County back years ago. Very good football player. He's come back home here to coach, and we really appreciate having him.
Okay.
Then we got Lee Smith. Lee is a assistant coach. He comes in. Of course, Lee, like so many of us, he has a regular job that he has to work during the week, but then he helps when he can. Yeah. And comes in and does a good job with the linemen and stuff.
Now, he played at Lincoln County, didn't he?
Lee played at Lincoln County. Sure did. Played offensive lineman at Lincoln County.
Okay.
Then we got Carlos Hadley. And if you know anything about Lincoln County, you'll remember the name Carlos Hadley. Carlos we're talking about dynamic duos, what go of our linebackers we have now, but Carlos and Chad Henderson were probably 2 of the best ever. And Carlos, I believe he coaches on the defensive side too, and he's a very welcomed addition.
Okay.
Then we got, of course, Coach Don McNeese. Coach McNeese has been with us for years. Coach McNeese actually lives in Tullahoma, I think, and makes the drive every day. I'm sure he's wanting us to beat Tullahoma this year, because he's probably tired of hearing it over there. Of course, we beat them for so many years, and they beat us the last few years.
I know Don was an assistant for Lewis all 22 years that he was here, so he's probably starting his 23rd, 24th year as an assistant coach at Lincoln County High School. So he's been around a while.
Very smart. I know he sits up there a lot of times in the press box. Their booth is right beside us. And of course, sometimes you might be able to hear him over the radio making a few comments, but very smart.
You just couldn't play those comments over the radio.
Right, exactly. Well, sometimes they go out, there's nothing we can do about it. But Coach McNeese a lot of times he would call what's going to happen before it ever happens. And sure enough, he would say, this is fixing to happen. It would. So he's been around football his whole life, played at Tullahoma. Good coach. Next, we got Nathan King. Of course, Nathan coming over this year. It's his first year with us. He played at Lincoln County.
Right.
Very good offensive lineman at Lincoln County. Of course, you look at him now, you wouldn't think he played offensive line. He's really worked hard at losing some weight and all. He's really looks good, and
He has slimmed up.
he's slimmed up a lot.
Now, Nathan was a real part of the success of the NGA program last year. He was assistant coach at Ninth Grade Academy before he came over to Lincoln County High School. So I hated to see him leave that program because I think he brought a lot to it. But if he had to go somewhere else, I'm glad he's at Lincoln County High School.
Exactly, because we had heard rumors of other people trying to get him and was hoping he didn't get away, and he didn't. We got him, so he's a good, like you said, he's a good addition. He's a younger guy, and he can really, relate, I guess, a little better with the younger kids. Listen to their kind of music and talk their kind of talk. I don't know, but appreciate having him. And the last assistant coach we've got here is the youngest coach we've got on the team. Actually, it's Coach Steve Edgens. Coach Edgens has been involved in Lincoln County football. Coach Edgens was my head coach when I was a senior.
Well, he was at Central High School in the late 60s.
Of course, I'm in my mid-20s, but he was.
Coach Billy Joe Evans was at the Tigers at Central.
I wish I was in my mid-20s.
He came in and still working with defensive backs.
Sure, stood beside him last night on the sideline at the scrimmage, and he's just as involved and just as into what's going on as he ever was.
Absolutely.
He's yelling and pointing out and just coaching all the time.
Absolutely.
Our
Okay. Well, that wraps
trainers,
us
if you want
up,
to talk about our
folks.
trainers, if you want to talk.
Well, go ahead.
Josie Smith and Julie Dunn.
All right.
And then,
of course, those are two hard-working girls during the course of a ball game because it's a constant. There's always something going on, always something to be doing. Timeouts are called, injuries, that type thing. So it's those girls work really hard. Even preparation before the game gets there, they're hauling this and that and everything out to the field. So.
Exactly, that's a lot. There's a lot to that, and people don't realize. People yelling last night. They were yelling for water, and it's easy to be standing over at the fence when the game's going on and talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden you got to jump up and run and take water out there.
Sure.
They do a good job.
And last but not least,
a statistician, somebody named Matt Posey. I know a Matthew Posey, but I don't know a Matt Posey.
He's maturing, he's becoming mad.
Well, the best thing,
I don't know about that.
Matt does a good job with stats. I did that for years
I
with
agree.
a pencil and paper, and that is hard. That is hard work to do, doing it on the fly. The best thing happened for Matthew is when they invented computers, where we can do it on computer, where we don't have to read Matthew's writing, because his handwriting is.
My handwriting's great.
It's
atrocious.
Yeah, atrocious might be a good word.
They don't teach penmanship in school anymore.
You got an A+ student in every class except penmanship.
I tell you, folks, Matt does an excellent job. He keeps stats at football. He keeps stats at basketball for Falcons, and he's there. He's dependable, and when he gives you something, it's right. And from my perspective, at the paper and everything, you have no idea how much you appreciate being able to get information and knowing that it's going to be there. So that's what.
And the dependable thing is big too.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of people, and we appreciate everybody that wants to help and everything. We'll take all the help we can get, but then it comes into the commitment of every Friday night, and then when the playoffs start, whatever. And it's a tough thing that you've got to set everything else aside and do that.
It gets to be a grind, no doubt. Well, folks, come out and support the Falcons. They start up their schedule August 23rd. Home opener against Giles County. Hopefully after last year's situation, there'll be a little payback compared to the game we drove home for. It was a long 30 miles home coming from Giles County last year. So
we just never got in sync last year. I don't know what from the beginning. We just never got any kind of rhythm in the game, and the final score showed that. So hopefully we will do a lot better at home this year.
It's what we're looking for. 10-0.
I hope so.
Yeah,
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.